Test mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oke, hello guys, welcome back with me Fedelish, your own and friends. So ya, karena kita bakal lanjut lagi ke apa namanya? Wait, apa ini? Saweria kah? Biasanya saweria soalnya. Oh iya. Tumben. Coba refresh. Oh, udah enggak. Oke, so ya kita bakal lanjut lagi ke V and Chaos Child ya. Memang kita udah di chapter 7 atau chapter 8, lupa. Udah? Mari kita lanjut. Hai Bang, halo Ahmad Raffi, welcome to the stream. Bentar ya. Ganti game capture dulu. Oke. Chapter 7 ya? Baru chapter 7. Ingatnya 8. Arimura, Uki, and I got a full medical check at hospital run by a friend of my dad's. Just like Shinjo had suggested. Oke, berarti dia nggak nipu kita ya. Okay, and now the numbers, brainwave, electrocardiograph, MRIs, and other images were lined up on Dad's computer screen. Okay. Of course, as a complete amateur, I had no idea what any of it meant. Kunosato was talking to my dad as if she were a colleague, rather than addressing him as the much older man that he was. What do you mean you found something strange? I'm already pissed off that I have to do this exam, and I'm supposed to meet with some friends today. When a girls blow off another girl, it makes things complicated down the road. Arimura put her hand on her hips and complained. Uki, for her part, looked scared. She was hiding behind me and trying to stay out of Kunosato's sight. You don't know anything. You need to shut up. You're getting in the way. What? No way. If I don't make things clear now, who knows what you're going to do in the future? Amateur like you piss me off the most. Hey Arimura, Kunosato, don't you ever get tired? Don't you ever get tired of fighting all day? Iya, ribut dulu ya. Just like, as he always did. Arimura's eyes narrow as he glared at Kunosato, who just laughed. So, Dr. Sakuma, what did you find? If you found something, tell me as fast as you can. I want to go shopping after this. Sure, I will. First, as for why Uki stopped growing, you won't know for a while. Okay, nggak tahu penyebabnya sampai sekarang ya. It will take time to get result back on her chromosomal and hormone tests. And as for you two, you're in fine health, no issue with any of your internal organs. But Takuro is showing clear sign of eating an unbalanced diet. Oh iya, karena kan dia ini ya, kira gaming. Certain nutrients are very clearly missing. I'll make this very clear to Nono. And you, Arimura, need to cut back on the sweets and fatty food. No junk food. You're on a straight path toward obesity right now. Waduh. Enough about their bodies. What about their brains? Yes. Well, this is an MRI scan that click on one of the image, which display image of a human brain. Arimura must have found the side of her own brain creepy because she looked away. Uki didn't seem to know what it was and stared out from behind me, confused. Kunosato clicked through the image slowly, taking each little part in turn, but then finally tossed it away. All three of them are negative, aren't they? Yeah. This MRI show negative. Negative? What? What? Does that mean I'm stupid? Arimura staggered back as if she had been given some kind of shocking news. Yes, you're stupid. Extremely stupid. No way. No, no. That's not what the word means. That chuckle a little. You're an even meaner person than I had been told. If she doesn't know what the negative means, then I will say, I will say calling her stupid is fair. Yeah. I see what Shinjo's going through. Right? Shinjo gave that a tired smile. Don't worry. Negative in the medical sense is a good thing. It means there is no unusual symptoms. Your brain is completely normal. Oh, you're scared? You scared me. Arimura sighed with relief, for once acting like a girl her age. Lately, I have finally understood that this was who she really was. She had once told me before that she was always trying to be the person that the people around her wanted her to be. But there's no relationship between the Gigalomanic's power with the enlargement seen in the brain. I can tell you, at least, that I'm not seeing any issues with them on this chart. This is for yourself what that means in relation to that Gigalo what is you're talking about. Kunosato frowned and thought. But there was a commonality between all the murder victims. Commonality between all the murder victims. Their brains all showed the same symptoms. Kunosato showed that her tablet computers had several brains on it that were in ours. Arimura looked away again. You can tell from looking at this, right? The cerebral neocortex is swollen. You're right. Now that you mention it, that whisper as he looked at the tablet. Swollen? It's bigger? That's right. About 1.2 times normal size. So we wanted to see if your brain showed the same symptom. But the result was negative. Your brain are no different than a normal person's. Which means something happened to the victim that caused their brain to swell. I don't know about that. This isn't large enough to cause a problem with their daily life. It wouldn't affect them mentally either. They probably didn't even notice it. In other words, their brain were like that originally, or this happened to them when they died, or perhaps this is what killed them. We don't know. That look at the That look at the tablet and nodded. That's right. Either way, we don't have enough data to make a decision. If you only had 2 or 3 more victims, I told you, stop saying that. Shinja treated it like a joke, but her face was completely serious and terrifying. So does that mean there wasn't any real point to this exam? You're kidding me. No, that's not true. Knowing that you're healthy and your brain is fine is a blessing, right? Shinjo tried his best to make her feel better, but don't say things to me that you don't mean. You were just thinking, this is why Arimura is such a hassle just now, weren't you? That's not true. Shinjo gave up and lowered his head. Sorry. Man, what a waste of a day off. I'm leaving. Arimura grabbed her bag and tried to leave. Wait a moment. She turned around at the door when Kunosato stopped her. What is it? Help me with one more thing. I need your power. No. I told you, Kunosato, there's a right way to ask. But Kunosato ignored him. I want to ask Uki Yamazoe about her power. What? Uki shivered and hid behind me. Dad saw her and frowned in a way that only I could notice. Then he said, I'm gonna hit the restroom, and walk past Arimura and out the door. On the way out, he whispered to me, I'm going to leave for a bit. Psychic power are outside my field of study. As a doctor, just listening to this make me think I'm going to go crazy. After that laugh, Kunosato looked at tiny little Uki with cold eyes. Yamazue, you don't seem to know the detail yourself, so just tell me what you know. Her harsh tone only scared Uki more, but I looked at her and nodded, and she tried her best to work up her courage. I think I have the power to make what someone imagines into reality. What someone imagine? Can that someone be anyone? Anyone near me? Can it be anything? For instance, if I imagine this coin, Kunosato took out a penny and showed it to Uki. It can be thing like that or not. Do you mean by not? I don't know how to describe it. Situation, maybe? Situation? Like they want to be pretty, or they want something to happen, and that becomes real. Is it real? I don't know. I don't really know. Could you do it if you wanted to? No, I can't do it whenever I want. Well, Arimura. Kunosato looked over, but Arimura just turned her head. Right. It's not lying. It's all true, I guess. So she subconsciously rebut the wishes and thoughts of other people. Wait a minute.
それならこの前フリージアから姿を消した方法も説明がつく。百瀬さんの思考がリアルブートされてしまったわけか。
I see. That explained how she disappeared from Frisia. What Momose was thinking about got rebooted. So her power could only reboot other people's thoughts and wishes, not her own. It was like her own life. She had no hopes of her own and only lived her life for the sake of others. In a way, it was a very sad power. Yes, see. If it happens, whether you want it or you want it to or not, then it's similar to Hinai Arimura's power. The power itself is impressive, but inconvenient. Sorry, I'm inconvenient. So when did this start, Yamazoe? Huh? When did you get this power? Is what I'm asking. Was it during the experiment in the underground facility? No. I was a bad student. Then when? I think it was after the Shibuya earthquake. I thought so. Why is that? I looked into what they said and what you found about the victim's past. When you put it together, they all awoke to their power at almost the exact same time. So the earthquake was the cause. That's still just a theory. Unfortunately, Kunosato started to type something into her tablet. Wait. Earthquake happen all the time. If everyone created a gigalomaniac, we would be overflowing with them. No, I'm not talking about the earthquake itself. Remember that something strange was observed in Shibuya during the quake, right? Something strange. I did remember actually. Loli, hello fun, welcome to the stream. Do you mean that white light? Kunosato nodded. That white light. The white light that had covered us right after the Shibuya earthquake. There were a lot of rumor about it, including one that said it was plasma caused by the earthquake. But I had heard they still didn't really know what it was. I'm surprised I didn't take you for a conspiracy theorist. Kunosato, conspiracy? What conspiracy theory? Wait, do you mean the one from after the quake? I was talking about a certain rumor that had gone around right after the earthquake. The rumor said that the quake was caused by a secret tectonic weapon experiment, a joint project between the US and Japan that might have gone awry. and that the mysterious light was caused by its explosion, and that Chaos Child Syndrome, which was believed to be a form of PTSD, might actually be caused by the material used in that weapon. The rumor was popular on a channel for a while, but people quickly got bored with it. By the time I had woken up from my coma, no one was talking about it anymore. Now it would be more accurate to say that instead of people getting bored, someone had done their best to erase all traces of it. At the time, I had found it strange and started to look into it outside of the internet. Ada Loli ini, Fon. Despite the large magnitude of the quake, there had been no aftershock afterward. All the damage had been concentrated in Shibuya, iya sih. And the epicenter had been observed to be far too shallow. Despite all this, not a single scientist was speaking up. Whenever someone raised even the smallest doubt, they were quickly shouted down as an idiot conspiracy theorist. I wish it was just a conspiracy theory. I wish. What do you mean? I think that light might have been the cause of everything. The quake was just a side effect of it. Bisa jadi sih, bisa. Are you serious? Then what do you think that light was? If I knew, my life would be a whole lot easier, but I'm sure that someone caused it. I'm sorry. Can you figure that out some other time? All I want is for you to solve the case, and soon. Arimura saw that Shinjo and Kunosato were about to start arguing, and readjust her tote bag and on her shoulder. I'm finished here, right? Then goodbye. See you at school, most of you. Yeah, bye. See you around, Uki. And cheer up. Nah, ini Lolinya nih, Pon. She patted Uki lightly on the head and left the examination room. Uki softly whispered, "Yes, ma'am," as she watched her go. After that, Kunosato began to mumble to herself as she started to look at our data on that species. There was a different look in her eyes than any I had seen before. To be honest, she looked a little crazy. It wasn't like a mad scientist. It was as if she was concealing some dark obsession. I had seen these eyes somewhere before. Where was it? I remember and shiver. That pyrokinetic, that girl who might be Senri Minamisawa. They looked just like her eyes. They were the eyes of someone bent on revenge and consumed by hatred and rage. Okay, then the Shibuya earthquake and strange light. The relationship they had with our powers. I roll around in my bed, thinking about everything that had happened. And then I thought back to the crazy look in Kunosato's eyes. He looked just like the pyrokinetic. Revenge, huh? Did Senri Minamisawa hate me for what I had done that day? Did she still hate me even now? That's crazy. I was a little kid. There is no way she will still be mad about something that happened so long ago. I tried to say it aloud to convince myself, but that pyrokinetic wasn't behaving like a normal person. Kembali ke peradaban, Fed. Kenapa tuh, nak? Baru welcome to the stream ya? Maksudnya? Internetnya mati. It was hard to think she was sane. He was a beast. An animal without a conscience that was stalking the street of Shibuya with bare fangs. At least that's how she had seemed to me. The terrifying words she had said when she saw me. Udah lama nggak nonton gini. Oh, maksudnya visual novel. Emang jarang sih ngurus isekai. Oh. Paham. Yeah. She looked at me and she said, I found you. Did I end up putting my life at risk and not even realize it? The more I thought about it, the more my blood began to run cold. Yeah, it is what it is, see? If I had known this was going to happen, I would have just listened to Kurusu to begin with. Wait, why am I acting so wimpy? I sat up on the bed. That's right, I had my power. Tapi ya, untungnya kita kan indie. Jadi nggak ada keterikatan sama sekali. Jadi ya udah. Kalau nggak ada keterikatan mah ninggalin nggak masalah sebenarnya. Even if that woman was Senri Minamisawa and she was trying to kill me out of revenge, I wouldn't just sit there and let her. Ntar pas udah beres baru deh live lagi, nongol lagi. What if she attacked me when I was with Kurusu? And what if things got so dangerous that I couldn't protect my own life or Kurusu's without killing her? I could kill Senri Minamisawa right in front of Kurusu? Iya ya. Nanti kalau beneran itu Minami itu pasti Kurusu bakal ada drama sih. I almost slipped up at the sudden noise. The sound was from my new smartphone. I had finally gotten a new one before I went to the hospital today. Nggak diceritain ya? I had totally forgotten. I remember how Ito had gotten a call from my old phone after I had lost it and hesitated a little. I look at the screen, trembling. Why? Caller. Serika Onoe. Kenapa trembling anjir? Kan Onoe yang telepon. Oh, it's just Onoe. Iya, cuman Onoe anjir. Hello. Oh? Yahoo. What's up? Are you in a bad mood? Did something happen at your exam? No, that's not it. You can't fool me, okay? Whenever your voice is like that, you're worried about something. Wis, waifu kita boleh-boleh. Actually, it wasn't just Kurusu and Arimura who could tell I was lying. When I was lying. So, halo, Kamiyu. Lah, udah beres kamu live-nya? What is it? I wasn't sure if I should tell her, but it was Serika I was talking to after all. I told her everything I had been thinking about. Cakep gitu, yoi. A white light. I was with you then, wasn't I? Do you remember anything? Well, I was out cold, so I didn't see it. Remember, you carried me to her. Huh? Oh iya, yang pas gempa ya. Ini ngomongin pas earthquake ya. Oh, that's right. I could still remember how Serika felt when I had carried her on my back. Until then, I hadn't really treated her differently than any other boy. But at some point, she had started to grow into a woman ya. Iya dong. Mungkin dong dia dari dulu kecil terus. When I carried her on my back, I was surprised that was what a girl felt like. Sorry about making you do that. Thanks. Why bring that up now? You know we are friends. It's nice to have an old friend, isn't it? Yeah, I see. Serika sounded happy, but the tone of her voice quickly dropped. But that girl, who is non old friend, is causing you a lot of problem right now, isn't she? You be careful too. I wasn't the only one who saw Senri Minamisawa down there. It will be fine. I'm sure you'll protect me. Yes. Iya, tahu. Kita pasti protect kamu, tapi jangan begitu terus dong. Wenpet dubbing apa tuh? Ini ikutin Jepang ya. Japanese tapi waduh. Nggak bisa bro. Bahkan dia udah ngomong sekalian langsung lupa Cok. Are you not planning on protecting me? No, that's not it. Just I fell silent, but I could tell that Sarika was nodding to herself on the other side of the phone. Ah, I see. So that's why you are not sure what to do. And then, even though I hadn't said anything, she seemed to realize my problem. Could I kill someone if it meant saving someone? Bisa sih. But killing is still killing, bro. But you know, Taku, I think that even if it were her best friend, none will kill them without a second thought if she had to do it to protect you. Yes. Ah, of course I would too. I will do anything for you. I don't think I would lose to anyone ever. Tapi dulu aku di sekolah ada pelajaran bahasa Jepang, cok. Pas SMP. What about you, Taku? Maybe she was right. Kurusu would probably kill her friend if it was the only way to protect us. But I can't let Kurusu do that. If that woman really was Senri Minamisawa, it wasn't Kurusu who needed to do it. Yes, see. It was me, right? Probably. That's right. That was the way to overcome my past trauma too. Oh. But today's the 18th, right? Emang kenapa? Oh, is that important? Ini ceritanya plotnya juga bingung. Following Sarika's conversation was as impossible as ever. Oh? I was just thinking that the next murder won't be for a while. It won't? I look at the calendar and then realize the next is 23rd, huh? If this killing were following the new generation madness, the next murder will be on the 23rd. After that will be Yamihan on October 28th. The Dikian puzzle on the 4th of November. If we could get through the 23rd, we will be safe for a while. October. Enggak juga sih. Yep, so we may be safe until then. But that means we'll have to spend the whole day running on the 23rd. Tapi bener sih, dipikir-pikir mirip Persona ya. Jadi kita kayak udah tahu ininya gitu loh, patternnya. Jadi kita tinggal menunggu patternnya malah. Then let's all stay together that day. Even if she hates you, I don't think she can just show up when we are all together. I see. That might be our only plan, yeah. If we could avoid the murderer that way, we will win. We could have everyone in the club help. Hihihi, halo Bang Loli, halo Anya Lobudi, welcome to stream. And go to some place that's open all night. Or if Dr. Sakuma says it's okay, we could stay at Aoba dorm. Onoe, you're smarter than you look. Huh? That's a big compliment. No, it's not. It's not a compliment at all. But whenever I was in trouble or worried about something, Sarika had always been there to listen. He was one of the few people who really understood me. Oh gitu Pet, jadi enggak dong. Of course, I was too embarrassed to tell her that I had no plans to ever do so. Okay, Taku, good night. Sweet dreams. Yeah, good night. I hung up and then looked at the calendar on the wall again. October 23rd. Kalau pedo kan enggak sama bocil. Ini kan enggak. Lucu aja. What's the killer going to do? Is it really some kind of message? And am I really the target? Or just like we had expected, nothing happened over the next few days. Anjir, ini skip deh langsung ke tanggalnya. There was no sign of that woman and no new arson cases, which meant no news about the case. Iya sih. Ada yang baru jadinya. For my part, I was trying to figure out how to use my power to protect everyone instead of just screwing around like I had before. Good thinking, good thinking. And then the day was upon us. Oh iya kan, langsung di skip kan ke tanggal 23. So nothing's happened so far, right? Yeah. Aren't you glad, Miyashiro? It's all because I'm hanging out with you. You can thank me by buying a mango for parfait at Senzokuya. Okay? But I told him, but they might be after you too. Cheapskate. Listen, everyone, it's too early to let your guard down. This is where things start to get tough. Nothing had happened during school. We had made sure that nobody was alone during break periods, and it had paid off. What is it, Yamazoe? Is it okay for me to be here? I'm not a student. Iya, oke. Suaramu lucu sekali. Today's special. You're a psychic too. Today might come after you. That's right. Make sure you stay with us until today is over, okay? Yes, ma'am. Uki had seemed uncomfortable in this new environment all day. So what do we do now? People are starting to leave, so we should probably go somewhere else. Let's go to some place in Shibuya that's open late. You guys don't mind coming with me, right? Oh, fine. But you're paying. Harimura. Harimura? I might pay for the others, but you and I are going Dutch. What? You're mean. You're a demon. A devil. Call me whatever you want. So, where do we go? Karaoke, maybe? I would rather to go someplace cheap. So the usual place then. Welcome. Take your time. Domo. You folks, huh? Sit wherever you like. We choose a seat by the window with a good view. Cafe Lax took over a whole floor of a classy two-story business building near Shibuya's residential district. With a window seat, we could see all around the building, and we had spotted that pyrokinetic. Senator Minami saw if that's who she was immediately. Come on. We can stay here till they close. Close saja, bro. We have to order a lot then. Excuse me. Saying this once more, Arimura. You're paying for yourself. Are you ready to order? I'm busy. So make it quick. Ma'am, if you're busy, I can help around the store. Huh? Come on, Yamazu. Customers don't have to help the staff. Actually, you're not allowed. I'm not? Terlalu lugu Loli kita terlalu innocent Okay, I'll take everything from here to here. Harimura, don't try to order the whole menu when I'm not looking. I'm not paying for your bill. Onoe? What's wrong? The cream from the cream puff I just ate got in my hair. Waduh, di rambut. How could she pull that off with hair that long? Pendek sih ya. Dia kan rambut pendek kan si Onoe. Yang rambut panjang tuh Kuno 1. Pada ngantuk. Hana, that's a big yawn. Ito. Come on, man, stay sharp. And it's bad manners too. I can't help it, we've been here for hours, just killing time. We have been at Cafe Lax for 4 hours already. Anjir, 4 hour di cafe. Kalau nggak ada, kalau emang udah sering ketemu 4 jam di cafe sih gabut juga. Kalau 4 jam karena jarang ketemu, oke lah. Ya gak sih? At first, everyone had been tense and alert, but it seemed we were starting to hit our limits. Rimura and I seemed to be relaxing a little. If we were alone, we would have been afraid, but now we were surrounded by our friends. And if you added in the waitress and the other customer, there were even more people here now. I couldn't imagine someone just barging in and attacking. Oi, you people. The waitress had rolled over at some point while I was looking out the window. I was standing next to me. How many hours are you planning on staying here? If you're not going to order more? Oh, we will order. Give me a menu. I guess we had to order extra after all. It was only natural, but it was putting a big dent in my budget for the month. Here, I have a menu. Thanks, Taku. What do you want? Serika took the menu and handed it to me. Let me see. Cheap, something cheap. As I flipped through the order, I saw. Huh? That's a sumo sticker. I felt horribly dizzy and my eyes started to go blurry. I felt bad. It hurt to breathe. It's 11 Rose Touch, which had tortured Arimura and I on the night we were attacked by pyrokinetic was right in front of me. Everything started to go dim. No. Stay strong. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Okay. Ya, pingsan kita. Okay, oh enggak, kirain pingsan. I managed to get a hold of myself. What? Where did everybody go? That made no sense. How? Kurusu. Onoe. Ito. Where? Kazuki. Rimura. Yamazue. They were gone. Not only my friends, but even the waitress had disappeared. Everybody was gone. This can't be happening. Hello? Is anybody there? I called out to the back of the cafe, but there was no sign that anyone was there. Damn it, what's going on? This sounds is pyrokinetic. All the sound had disappeared from the world. The music that had been playing in the cafe was gone, and so were the sound of the cars that sometimes passed by on the road. There was nothing but strange silence and dark gloom. I could only hear one thing. That terrifying sound. He was getting closer. The footsteps were coming up the stair to the cafe. Anak kacau, kenapa, Oma? Kenapa? San Papi? Welcome to the stream, ya, Bu Bupe. Shivering with fear, I forced myself to quietly open the door to the cafe and then snuck out onto the landing. Trembling, I looked down the stair to the first floor. And there I saw... Yeah. That's... Semangat membaca, iya bubub. Mitsuketa. Our eyes met for an instant. I saw those eyes, like cold fire, looking up at me from beneath the hair that covered her whole face. I knew it. That's the pyrokinetic from before. Senbei Minamisawa. As if she could sense my fear. Tawa deh. Suddenly Minamisawa looked at me and smiled. It was the smile of a beast that had found its prey. 見つけた. Hey, betrayal. Chapter apa nih, dah? I grit my teeth to keep from screaming and ran back into the cafe. I closed the door as quietly as I could. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm so scared. She is going to kill me. She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Henry, Minamisawa is going to kill me. Somebody. I tried to scream for help, but my voice got caught in my throat. No, even if I had been able to yell, no one was there to help me. Kurusu was gone, Serika was gone. So were Ito, Arimura, Kazuki, and Uki. Even the waitress had disappeared, and the lighting seemed to have turned a faded yellow too. The cafe was much darker than usual. Why? Why did everyone disappear? I was too scared to speak or do anything except slowly move backward from the door. I finally hit the wall and found myself with nowhere to run. That's right, my power. I can use my power. I could knock her flames away again. Tried desperately to psych myself up for the fight. But why? I couldn't see it. The D-sword wouldn't appear. Why now, of all times? No matter how much I tried to concentrate, the terror won out. The D-sword refused to appear. Okay, kamu nongol ya weaponnya. Mungkin karena paniknya itu loh. Past the entrance to the cafe, I could hear the loud clicking of a heel against the floor and the sound of a leg sliding along the ground. Ini udah ciri khas dia banget ya. Kalau dia pincang si Minamisawa. He was bringing me a merciless death. No. There has to be somewhere to hide. I look around and saw a door on the other of the kitchen. It was the employee bathroom. Oh, dia masuk ke bathroom. I flung myself away from the wall, ripped open the door and went inside. Then I locked the door with trembling hand. There was no window in the bathroom. I would run inside without even bothering to turn on the light, so it was pitch black. In that cramped and closed space, my heart started to pump fast and my breathing became heavy. She was going to hear me. I needed to be quiet. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle the sound. It hurt to breathe. But if I couldn't be quiet, she would find me and kill me. Senri Minamisawa's footstep finally reached this floor, and then she stopped. Suddenly, there was an eerie silence. I could almost sense somewhat that she was looking for me. Just go away. Leave me alone. I prayed, but it was a waste of time. She came inside the cafe. The footstep started again. Slowly. She's here. The woman slowly moved around the cafe. I could hear her dragging her legs from one side of the cafe to the other, as if she was toying with me. Each time she moved, she knocked glasses and cups to the floor, where they shattered. All I could do was try not to scream. And yeah, try not to scream, eh? I remember all the horrible ways the other psychic had died. Don't look at me. Leaky noise. Revolving death. Gotsu and death. Was that going to happen to me too? No, I don't want to die like that. How much time passed after that? Suddenly, Senri Minamisawa's footsteps started to get farther and farther away. Huh? I couldn't tell from here, but it felt like she might be about to leave. Am I safe? I concentrated as hard as I could on listening to those eerie footsteps. Iya, keluar cafe deh. I could hear a door open and close. And then that awful dragging sound again, this time going down the stairs. And soon, there was no sound at all. Oh, gitu ya. I panicked in relief. I did it, I made it. But now, I wouldn't die and the new generation Oh, ada suara ketukan tuh. Wah. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was so utterly unexpected that I couldn't stop myself from screaming. The knocking stopped for an instant. I could sense that someone was looking at me from the other side of the flimsy door. This can't be happening. She just went down the stairs. The knocking started again. It's the same one I heard at the hotel, and slowly but steadily, it continued. The interval between each knock was identical and mechanical. Knock, 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 knock. I tried to get as far away from the door as I could. But the bathroom was tiny, and there was nowhere to run. Damn it. Fine, you want to fight? Do you want to fight? You can have one, even if I can't use my power. Pakai apa lu fight-nya? I won't let her just kill me. I'll catch her my damn self. Will I beat a pyrokinetic with my bare hands? Of course no. The thought flashed through my mind for an instant, but I didn't think I could take the terror anymore. I was at my limits. Take this. I screamed and unlocked the door and slammed into it as hard as I could. Kosong it. The bathroom door opened with a bang. Yeah. Lah, dia mukul ono eh. Overcome with terror, I screamed and slammed the person in front of me to the floor. But what are you doing, Takuru? At the last minute, someone grabbed my head from the side. I smelled a pleasant scent that I knew well. Huh? What's gotten into you? Kurusu? Kurusu was beside me, holding me, and... You're heavy, Taku. You're crossing me. My insides are gonna come out. Huh? The person I had knocked to the floor was Serika. Anymore, and I would have hurt her. No. Oh, Miyashiro. You are so bold, trying to take her first time here? I'm not, and anyway. I shook off Kurusu's arm and stood up. Where is that woman? That woman. Everyone looked confused. Serika stood up, rubbed her butt. Nggak perlu dong, nggak usah perlu diceritain dong, rub her butt dong. And started to look around the room. Which woman? He was just here. The one who tried to kill me. Wait, where have you been? We've been here the whole time. Ito stood up from the sofa on the window. Yamazo and Kazuki were sitting next to him with surprised looks on their face. Hey, you folks, you're being a bit loud. Anymore, and I have to ask you to leave. Sandai. Even the waitress was here too. That's impossible. But I know I was attacked, and right in this cafe. Was that just a dream? No, that wasn't a dream. It was so real. I could still remember the sound of her leg dragging and the sound of the knocking at the door. Just thinking of them made me shiver. Is this another power Senri Minamisawa has? He made a fake cafe lax and trapped me in it. I thought she was just a pyrokinetic. Could she do that as well? Or maybe there's another psychic helping her. Either way, the possibility we had discussed at the newspaper club meeting was right, in a bad way. Wait, are you okay, Takuru? You're really sweating. Kurusu took a handkerchief from her pocket and started to gently wipe the sweat off my forehead. Suddenly, her hand stopped. She looked at me, her face pale. Takuru, there is blood coming out of your eyes. Huh? I put my hands up to my eyes in surprise. When I tried to rub them, I felt something slip, and then I looked at my hand. They were bright red. I could see my blood on her handkerchief too. Had I been so scared and tense, then the blood vessel around my eyes had burst. What happened? Are you okay, Miyashiro? Yeah. We need to have Dad take a look at this. Let's go, Taku. Kurusu and Selika tried to drag me out of the cafe. I could see Ito, Arimura, Kazuki, and Uki in the corner of my eye trying to figure out what to do. I turned to them and said, Ito,
Arimura, Kazuki,
Yamazoe, you guys come too. Huh? Oh, okay. Is it okay for me to come along at a time like this? No, not the time to worry about it. We know that they're targeting psychics. They stay with us until the day is over. We left Cafe Lax and headed for Aoba Clinic. No problem with your eyes. Retina looks good. The blood pressure is normal. Dad nodded as he looked at me. Any headaches? Numbness anywhere? Not really. No gas and no gaps in your vision? No narrow field of view? No? I see, then you're fine. Permasalahan bukan fine dari itunya. Kalau emang dia fine, darahnya dari mana? Nah, itu pertanyaannya. Really, take a closer look. Kurusu was sitting next to me, worried. You keep saying that. But there are blood vessels on the back of the eyelid, and once in a while they can burst, especially under great stress, excitement, or strain. Does that ring any bell, Takuru? I remember the attack, okay, but I nodded before Dad could see. See, that caused, don't worry. Dad called up my chart on the computer, the same one he had been using since I was in coma. He started to type something. Come on, no. Don't glare at me like that. What if something happens to Takuru? Fine. Let's stop typing and open another page on the chart. Takuru, I'll write you a referral. So go get some more brain scans done tomorrow. But just do it. I don't want my daughter getting mad and refusing to talk to me. Okay. That wrote me another referral to the same hospital as before, which was finally enough to satisfy Nono. Alright, Nono. Don't forget that you're still recovering from an injury too. Oh yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. As long as you understand. Dad smiled. Kurusu and I thanked that, and then went up to the dining room where the rest of the group was waiting. Uki, I'll have some apple tea. Me too. Alright, what about you, Ito? Coffee, black. Fedelish, Nggak ada. Halo, Bang Telur, welcome to stream. Pasti kamu baru mau tidur kan? When we got to the dining room, Uki was running around getting drinks for everyone. I looked at the clock, and it was almost 11 p.m. There was just one more hour until October 23rd was over. So, rehat sejenak dari gerbang Baldur lah. Mau lanjut lagi lau main gerbang Baldur deh. Lau udah beres kah ulangan? Ujian? So can you tell us what happened back there, Miyashiro? Harimura looked at me as she sipped her apple tea. She had the same joking voice she used at school, but her eyes were serious. Apa itu, Was? Alah, tai. Kalau gitu ngapain pulang? Nah, she seemed to have come up with her own ideas on what might have happened to me, and her eyes were as gloomy as they were when we had first met. I'll tell you, it's about that pyrokinetic. Lau libur kapan sih, Deo? Senri Minamisawa. Yeah. I glanced at Kurusu. Just for a second, I thought she wouldn't want to hear that her old friend might be a serial killer. Kurusu, if this is going to upset you. Jumat ini udah kelar gua. Jumat ini berarti belum beres dong. Cuma balik Selasa depan. Sampai kapan? Go back to your room or go be with Dad or Yui. No, tell me. Kurusu? I want to hear it. That's why I'm here. Belum tahu. Oh. Kira-kira panjang apa lama? Panjang atau lama? Panjang atau bentar? I see, okay. I sat down in a chair at the dinner table, and after a moment hesitation, slowly began to describe what happened to me at Cafe Lex. As I talked, the terror started to come back to me, and my hands were soon covered in a nasty sweat. Panjang lah. Panjang ya? Si Galen cuma tidur libur bentar. I didn't want to look bad in front of everyone, but I couldn't stop my voice from shaking. Berarti Lau nanti mainnya sama Bang Tiaga dong. And you know what happened after that? I opened the door, and outside, the cafe was completely normal. There was silence for a moment after I finished. Harimura, especially, seemed to be lost in thought. That was, of course, because Senri Minamisawa was probably after me. Her or Yuki. I'm not letting her kill me. Males mending sama AA Jenny. Emang dia libur juga? She whispered in a low voice and suddenly stuck her hand out into the air. Oi. Yamazu and I move away, surprised. Harimura had suddenly drawn her D-sword. What are you doing? What does it look like getting a weapon? A weapon? You can summon yours too, right, Uki? If she shows up, I'm fighting. Help me. Fight? I can't. Just do it. Uki tried to shake her hand no, but when Arimura glared at her threateningly, she bit her lip. And then she reached out her hand. Weh, sangar juga pedangnya Loli A giant sword appeared in her hand too. You too, Miyashiro, hurry. But I don't know how to draw it. You're useless. I could hear how annoyed she was. It had been a long time since I had seen her act like this cold. Keren pedangnya si Loli Hey, what's going on? What's up? What are you talking about? The other couldn't see the D-sword. All they saw was Uki and I freaking out. We were attacked by Senator Minamisawa once already, and today, you. I can't take this anymore, so... Arimura looked at the sword in her hand and cackled. I'm going to end this case myself. I'm going to kill Senri Minamisawa. Wait. Everyone turned to look at Kurusu. She probably knew that she was going too emotional about the situation because she was hesitating more than I had ever seen before. Are we absolutely sure that Senri is the killer? The only evidence is that ID card and what we saw, but her name is on the memorial. There has to be some kind of mistake. The data we found inside the hospital said she was missing, right? But I saw it myself. Henry was crushed by rubble right in front of me. She must have been remembering something painful. Waduh. She put her hands to her chest and her nails dug in deep. But then Arimura raised her eyebrow so high that I could see it more from Kurusu-senpai. Why are you lying? Huh? Shocked, I glanced at them, from one to the other. Arimura was staring at Kurusu with suspicious eyes. But Kurusu's expression remained unchanged, to the point where it almost seemed unnatural. What did you say it was a lie? Arimura's power let her tell when someone was lying. In other words, Kurusu was absolutely lying right now. But Kurusu looked Arimura dead in the eye as she spoke. I'm not lying. No, you didn't see Senri Minamisawa die. I don't know how accurate that power of yours is, but she's gone. That's just what you want to believe, isn't it? Or maybe, she's alive after all. The two of them glare at each other. If just hypothetically, yes. If she survived, she couldn't kill anyone. There is no way. Kurusu's voice took on a sorrowful note. Senri was a very scared girl. She was so timid. She couldn't kill an insect. And whenever something happened, she would start crying. That's why she was always following someone else around. Of course, she hated violence. Even just the sight of blood, I just can't imagine she will kill someone. It's impossible. I guess this time you're telling the truth. That's why. Kurusu's voice was rarely this emotional, but she must have realized that nothing she said would matter, so she fell silent. Anyway, if Senri is not the killer, then your hypothesis is completely wrong. What if someone else the real killer? That's of course. I had thought about that possibility, that there might be multiple killers, that there might be another psychic working with Senri Minamisawa. But even if there is, as long as we can make it to the end of the day, we win. Kenapa tuh si Yui? Everyone leaped out of their chair as we heard a scream from downstairs. What's that? Yui's voice? Yui! Kurusu ran down the stairs. We followed right after her. Yui had fallen backward onto the ground near the front desk. Her face was pale and her jaw was chattering. Yui, what's going on? Yui, are you okay, Yui? Yuto and Dad grabbed her and held her tight, but she was still shaking. The terror had completely consumed her. What happened, Yui? A big sis, no. Get a hold of yourself. Kurusu grabbed her by the cheeks and yelled. I was going to bed, and then I went to say goodnight to Dad. Good night. Don't work so hard, Dad. Why not go to bed? If you think I'm working too hard, go complain to Nono. Thanks to her, I've got to do extra work. Big sis no acts totally different when it comes to brother Takuru. You've got that right. Anyway, night. Yeah, good night. And I left the exam room to go back upstairs, and I heard a sound from the front door. Someone knocked. I thought it might be a patient who needed help, so I answered. I'm sorry, we are closed for the day. If you really need help, I can tell you where to find a hospital that's open 24-hour. What's wrong? Shall I call an ambulance? What is this? If this is a prank, please stop it right now. I said stop, please. I got really scared, but outside. I look outside. It's okay, Yui. Kurusu rubbed her head gently, and at last the dam burst and Yui started to cry. Big sis don't know. Everyone looked at each other pale as we listened to her sob. Harimura and I, in particular, had gone as deathly white as Yui. Knocking. That was the same thing I had heard at the cafe. So she did follow us. Yeah. I could feel my knees shaking. I remember the knocking and the dragging footstep I had heard at the cafe, and my heart began to feel overwhelmed with terror. I felt an impulse to run screaming off into the night. But strangely enough, it was Harimura who gave in before I did. She grit her teeth so hard I could hear it from where I was standing, and then ran towards the front entrance. Oi, Harimura. Hina-chan? She yanked open the lock on the door, and then flung it open. Then she ran out into the street, flailing her D-sword. I'm right here. Stop fucking around and come get me. She kept swinging her D-sword at the shadow formed by the street light. I'm done with running. I'm done hiding. If you think you can kill me, come try it. Stop it, Harimura. What are you doing? I grabbed Harimura from behind. She had clearly gone insane. Her D-sword hadn't been real Buddha yet, so it just slid right through me. If it had been, I wouldn't have survived. No, let me go. I don't want to die. Calm down. She's trying to make us panic. If we can calm down, we lose. Why did this have to happen to me? I never wanted this power. If only I didn't have it. When I saw her, I realized I had been making a mistake. For a while now, I had thought that I was starting to understand Harimura, but I was wrong. A pretty know-it-all, a normal girl, who sometimes got excited and smiled a childlike smile. I was always surprised when she did. But I also told myself that was who really was. But I was wrong. She was a weak little girl whose fate was caught up in event far beyond her control. That's right. If it weren't for those powers, this wouldn't have happened to any of us. You see, no one would have been killed. No one would have been tortured in those experiments in that basement. I hated myself for ever being proud of my powers. Why did they even exist? Who gave me this and why? Harimura's body was shaking as I held her. And pathetically enough, I was shaking every bit as much. Oi, Miyashiro, Harimura. Ito ran up to us as we sat on the side of the road. Sarika, Uki, and Kazuki ran after him. Are you okay? Yeah, I calmed down. Thankfully, I lied so as not to worry them. Anyway, let's get back inside. We could be attacked at any minute. And then Ito cut me off and showed me his phone. I flinched away. It's not another phone call, is it? Ito must have guessed what I was thinking. but he quickly shook his head.
違う。
No,
よく
look,
見ろ、Miyashiro.
Miyashiro. Huh? I stare at the phone. It had the usual wallpaper, the usual apps. There is nothing out of the ordinary. Huh?
気がついたか？
Did you notice? Udah lewat ya harinya?
小野へ。
Oh no, let me see yours. Okay. Sarika took her phone out of her pocket and showed it to me. It showed the same thing that Ito's did. The present time and date. 12:03 a.m. October 24th. October 23rd was over. Are we safe? Arimura swung her hat around and yanked the phone out of Sarika's hand. Her finger was shaking too much to read what it said. She stared at it again and again, and then... The strength drained from her tiny body as she collapsed into me, and then she passed out. October 23rd, the day of the return of the new generation madness, and we had survived it. Kazuki got into her usual gaming position and stretched. She was about to start playing Aso2. I chuckled as I opened the lid of my lunchbox. Everything was returning to normal. Inside the lunchbox was a sandwich that Kurusu had made for me. Morning had come. It was a Saturday, but it was the one day of the month we went to school on weekends. We had gotten some sleep at Aoba dorm, then taken showers and come to school. Yui and Arimura still hadn't woken up and were staying at Aoba Clinic. But neither of them seemed hurt, and Kurusu and Uki were staying home to take care of them. For my part, I had skipped out on morning class to stop by the brain doctor that had referred me to. The result had been the same as Dad had said, no abnormalities in the blood vessel in my brain. When I told Kurusu over the phone, she sounded relieved. No, then I wasn't feeling hungry, but I didn't want to let the sandwich go to waste. I took a little nibble of it as I stared at the board on the wall. Yalla. Is this really over? Is the return of the new generation madness all done? The net had been in an uproar last night. No, it still was. But not because something had happened. In fact, the uproar was because nothing had happened. I had checked a bunch of different places, TV, radio, and even the newspaper. But nothing had happened on the 23rd that will make you think of the new generation madness. Bertie feel it. Nothing happened on 23rd. There were all kinds of rumors going around on the net. This included a weird conspiracy theory that the killer had been captured, but because he was the son of a major politician, they couldn't go public with it. But most people thought that the return of the new generation madness was over, now that nothing had happened on the 23rd. But the killer hasn't been captured. Yes,
Miyashiro!
Oh, Miyashiro.
病院はもういいのか?
You done at the hospital then? Yeah, thanks. They say I'm fine. Glad to hear it. Ito and Sarika were both carrying lunch boxes of their own. Kurusu had made their lunches this morning, just like she had made mine. Pretty lucky that you get to go straight to the club room and eat the minute you arrive at school. They told me I could just go to afternoon classes. And I wanted to take some time to look at the map and think. Shinjo told us this morning not to do anything else, right? When we told Shinjo that there had been another attack by the person we believe to be Sanrei Minamisawa, he demanded to know why he hadn't told him sooner. Then he insists that we never do anything so dangerous again.
でも考えるくらいならいい
But it
だろ
doesn't hurt to think about it, does it? I put the lid back on my lunch, having barely eaten any of it at all, and look back at the map. Parah, ujungnya kayak hampir nggak dimakan ya.
昨日僕たちはカフ
We
ェ
were
ラッ
at
クス
the
に
Cafe Lex.
そこで
last
事件が起こった
That's where it happened.
僕の前に現れたのは
The woman who I saw was the one who attacked us before. Senator Minamisawa.
そしてその能
And
力
she was pyrokinetic. Okay.
ところがカフェラック
Gak
スで僕
nyimak,
を
udah
襲ったの
sampai
は
mana ini
パイ
game?
ロキネシス
Udah
じゃ
sampai sono.
別の能力だっ
By
た
the way, it was a different power than pyrokinesis that was used on me at Cafe Lax. He showed me. Which means that Senator Minamisawa has superpower after all.
いや
Game
まだ確証は
over.
持てない
No, we don't know yet. We
別の
can't be
能力
sure
者が
that
協力
another
してる可
psychic
能性
isn't
を否定で
helping
きな
her.
いし
それで襲われた時の
And
緊
then
張
the
のせい
vein
で
in your
タ
eyelid
コがまぶたの
burst
血管
from
を
the
切っちゃって
stress when you were attacked.
みんなで
And we
青
all
葉
moved to
寮に移動したんだ
Albador.
ああ
Maaf ya
僕はそこ
bubuk.
で父さんの診察を受けてその後みんなで
Game yang
23
ku mainin
日
visual novel perlu disimak. Yeah, then that gave me an exam. And we waited for the 23rd to end.
そういえばさ、
Hey, we're in the vice president Arimura arguing about something.
なんか言い
What
争い
was
とかしてなかった
that about?
言い争い
Bang, suspend aku bang, nggak mau. Welcome to the stream, si Pionse. Arguing. Hmm? I think I remember.
えっと
Nono said she didn't believe in psychic power. Nono said she didn't believe that Senri was killer. Kocak banget kamu, Fed. Gimana yang harus
そうそう
yang
なん
yang
ちゃんが
kagak
ね
harus disimak?
南
Maaf,
沢
Sen
千里
Papi ya,
さんは
maaf.
絶対に犯人じゃ
Halo
ないって
Nepu,
言っ
welcome
たん
to
だ
the
よ
stream. Om, halo Lertako ya, welcome to the stream. Kok kamu ngedesa gitu sih, Bubub? That's right, Non said that Senri Minamisawa definitely wasn't the killer.
猟奇殺人なんて
Kurusu
できる子
said
じゃないって
she
言って
wasn't the
た
type of the girl who
昔
could
親
do
友だっ
that.
たから
She knew because they were friends.
でもさ、
But then
あの時に
Arimura said
えっと
that she was lying. What did that
確かあの
mean?
時有村が嘘だと指摘したのは
What Arimura said was a lie was ini. Yo, halo Bagis, welcome to the stream.
思い出した
I remember. Kurusu said she saw Senri Minamisawa die written in front of her,
それが嘘だったん
but
だ
that was a lie.
つまり死んだところを見て
Kalau
ない
Bang Fed mampir bentar, iya, kalian mampirnya berbarengan, ada apa ini? In other words, Kurusu didn't see her die.
きっとのんちゃんはね
I'm sure Non didn't like the way we were treating her best friend as a serial killer. He probably just came up with a lie really quickly.
まあ、
Bang Fed, aku
確かに
digewesin.
副部長の気持ちになって
Kenapa
みたら
kira-kira nggak tahu? I can imagine how she feels.
そう
Yeah, you're right.
やっぱり南沢
Maybe I should be more careful about bringing up Senri Minamisawa when Kurusu's around. I stuck a paper on the board. Uncertain Senri died in the earthquake. She could be the
そして問
killer.
題はその後か
And the problems, what happened after that? Iya, si Yui ya, yang teriak kayak.
青葉医院の1階でユイが
On the first floor of Aoba Clinic, Yui.
ドアがノックされるのを聞
He
いたん
heard
だ
a
よ
knock
ね
at the door, right? It was the same thing I had heard at Cafe Lax, that woman's knock. And Yui had seen a terrifying sight.
僕でさえカフェで
Even
あれだけ恐怖した
I
んだ
was scared at the cafe. It must have been hard for Yui since she didn't know anything.
うん
Yeah, that's
か
right.
わいそう
Fortunately, Yui didn't open the door. Yeah, quickly shut and lock it. And save us at the last minute. Chaos, iya, boop, boop. If she had opened the door all the way, kosong udah Loli kita.
いや待て
No, wait. Look up from the map toward the ceiling. Something seemed very wrong.
どうしたの？
What's wrong, Taku?
なんか思い出したの
Did you remember something? Serika and Ito look at me, confused.
いやなんか
No, it's something bugging me. It feels like we missed something really important. What?
ん？
Kazuki was surprised enough that she turned away from Asotu to look at me.
大変なこと
Something important?
あ
Yeah, so much happened last night. With Arimura freaking out and me panicking that I didn't notice, but
気づかなかったけど
that's right. What was I just thinking now? If you had opened the door,
当然これまでの事件
of course,
ユイも被
in
害
all the case we've seen so far, that means she will end up a victim, but that also means I look at the map again.
前にも話したけど
I've said this before, but all these cases have one thing in common,
って言うと
which is
それは被害者だ
the victims.
最初の事件
The victims in he was
次は音漏れた
and
僕が目撃した
the
回転
victim
で
revolving
そして学
case.
園祭で起きた
And the
ごっつぁん
lastly,
ですそう事件のターゲット
psychic.
に
No
な
one
ってる
else
被害者
has been
全員
attacked.
だから
Yeah.
こそ
That's why
僕や
Arimura, Yamazo, and I
ずっと
were
警戒
always
して
so
いたわけです
cautious. In fact, at Cafe
事
Life,
実
I was in the
カメラ
target.
でも青葉寮
But
に
Sandra
現れた
Minamisawa, when she
南沢
appeared at
千里が襲撃しようと
Alba,
したんだ
tried to attack. Yeah, Yui. Yui was almost
So-
attacked by that woman at Alba Clinic.
ユイだ
I stood up in shock. That can't be right.
ゆいちゃん。
Does that mean Yui is a psychic too?
マジ
Are you serious? It was far too late to for it to make a difference now, but I suddenly felt like a cold pillar of ice was pressed against my back. I was certain that Sanri Minamisawa had come to Aoba Clinic in search of me, Arimura, or Uki, and that Yui had only been caught up in it all at all because she was lucky enough to answer the door. But what if I was wrong? What if there was a reason she was after Yui? Aside, it was hard for me to really believe.
これから確
I'm
かめ
going
て
to go see if she's
あい
really
つは
psychic.
本当に能力者なのかどうか
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, did I woke you?
あれ
Brother Takuru,
学校は
shouldn't you be at school?
早退した
I came home early because I was worried about you.
え
You're being
またま
silly.
た
Yui slowly sat up from the bed and smiled a tired smile. She must have felt dizzy for a moment because she leaned forward and grabbed her forehead. Her face was still pale, and the ivy looked like it was painful.
いいからそのまま寝てろって
It's fine, you can stay lying down,
でも
but
クレスに言い
I'll
つける
tell
ぞ
Kurusu on you if you don't. Takut deh. Those were always the best word to use on Yui. She frowned for a second, but then laid down and pulled up the covers.
有村は
Where's Arimura? The other bed in the exam room was empty.
お昼ごろ
Around lunchtime, a detective named Shinjo came and they left. He said she will be back. Shinjo was probably asking her about last night.
あいつもう体は大丈夫なのか
Is she feeling okay?
うん
He looked okay.
そっか
See,
タクロ兄
she
に
told
ね
me to tell you things.
え
My eyes went wide as I looked at my foster sister. Arimura, say thanks?
何かの
You
聞き間
probably
違いだろ
misheard her.
そんなこと
That's
ない
not
よ
true.
いい
Arimura is
人
a
だ
good
よ有
person.
村さん
I think she is grateful to you.
聞き間違い
If
じゃ
you
な
didn't
きゃ
hear it
ただ
wrong,
の気
then
の
she
迷
must
い
have just gone temporarily crazy. I put a stool up to Yui's bed and sat down. And then I watched her as she lay under the covers. I might have been the first time I had looked at her like this. Come to think of it, did she have some kind of powers? It just seemed hard to believe. Maybe I was mistaken. I hope I was. People were saying that the killing were over and the return of the new generation madness was at its end, but the killer still hadn't been caught. The idea of the killer being after not just me, Arimura and Uki, but also you is too scary to contemplate.
何どうした
Nani,
の
what's wrong? As I tried to figure out the best way to explain things, I heard a very uncomfortable voice. You must have noticed that I was staring at her silently. My sister was looking at me in confusion. Well? Hmm? Oh, Takuru. Welcome back. It's not time for him to be back, is it? Kurusu was standing at the door, holding a tray with a bowl of rice porridge. Uki was next to her with a pair of spare pajamas. Kurusu put the tray next to the bed and looked at me concerned. You left school early. Are you not feeling well? No, that's not it. Something was bothering me. Something bothering you? Even if Yui was a psychic, I still was unsure if I should tell Kurusu about it. She had just worried more. But she cared about her sister, I knew that. It was probably better if she knew everything. What's the best way to say it? And then I remembered the method that Kunosato had used on me. I glanced at Uki. He probably wouldn't like it, but it was the only way I could think of. Hey, Yui. Hmm? And you probably don't want to remember a lot about last night, but... Did you see Arimura and Yamazo holding something in their hands? Kurusu and Uki were shocked too. What do you mean? Did you see them holding things look like swords? Swords? Takuru, what are you saying? Kurusu grabbed me by the arm. She couldn't see the D-sword herself, but she knew exactly what I was asking. You didn't see anything like that, right? No, I didn't. No. She must have been surprised by Kurusu's sudden outburst. It was obvious she was telling a lie. I could see from the look on her face that she thought she had seen something she wasn't supposed to see. I'm sorry. Can I ask you to do something you want to do that? If Yui is one, I have to protect her too until the bad guy is caught. Just like I'm protecting you and Arimura. Okay. Uki was surprised, but she seemed... Okay, old friendnya pengen dibantu ya. She put the pajamas on the bed and stretched her hand into an empty air. Watch carefully, okay? What's going on? No, don't. Kurusu let go of my arm and grabbed onto Yui, as if she was trying to stop her from showing it to Yui. Kurusu, I'm sorry, but we have to know before it's too late, so... You can see what's in Yamazo's hands, right, Yui? Keren anjir, punyanya si Loli kita. Uki slowly drew it out of thin air. As it shone with a light no normal person could see, it was the weapon that connected reality to the Diraxi and its ocean of negative energy, the D-sword. It was obvious that Yui's eyes were following Uki's sword. You can see it, Yui? Can you see it? Yui looked like she was about to cry, then she nodded slowly. Yamazo, that's enough. Thanks. Then the D-sword disappeared from Uki's hand. There was nothing left but an awkward silence. This can't be happening. I was right. Yui was a psychic. And Senri Minamisawa had almost killed her last night. October 24th, 2015, Saturday. Loli kita dua-duanya ini, cok. Psychic. I know this smell. That was the first thing that Shinjo thought as she dug under the crime scene tape and went inside the third floor condo. Wait. Whatever. Kakiku aja. Oh iya, jangan lupa minum ya teman-teman ya. Lupa minum aku udah. But from where? Oh, that's right. New York. When he was training in America, a local college had taken him to a cheap steakhouse. The waiter had brought him a disgusting grilled lamb steak. The smell was a mix of rotting animal blood and burnt fat. He hadn't even taken a single bite. And that was precisely the smell that filled the room right now. The source of the stench was in the middle of the room and on top of the dinner table. The forensic people must have finished their job because it had already had a shit place over it. Now it was just waiting to be carried out to the coroner. Shinjo put his hand together a moment in silent prayer and then flipped up the shit. The second he saw it, he yanked the handkerchief out of his pocket and forced it to his mouth to stop himself from throwing up. He knew it was disrespectful to the dad, but he couldn't help it. Good evening, Shinjo. He looked up and saw a younger detective talking to the forensic people. The detective lacked his usual energy. This was probably the worst case he had ever seen. Shinjo didn't want to look bad in front of the younger kid, so he forced the handkerchief away from his mouth. Yeah, good evening. Did we find out who the body is? Well, the body is in a bad shape, and she's not wearing clothes. All we know for sure right now is that she's a woman, aged anywhere from her teens to her 30s. He could see him on the chart flash that indicated that the body had once belonged to a woman, but the face was so burned, there was no way to distinguish any features. And even stranger, there was there was what looked like a metal stick coming out of her mouth. The rod came out all the way below her abdomen, like a skewer used to cook a kebab. Tadi aku mikirnya juga kayak gitu. Kebab. About 10 days ago, we got a report of a piece of rebar being stolen from a nearby construction site. The detective flipped open his notepad. Rebar? The stuff they use in concrete walls? Yes, that's what's coming out of the victim's mouth. I think I saw this in an old movie once. It was an old 80s horror flick that he had seen with some friends in college. The movie was about a bunch of travelers who got lost in the jungle and eaten by cannibals. In one scene, someone had been cooked like this. And there was one more thing. This incident reminded him of a number of others he had seen recently. The return of new generation madness. Is this another one? No, it's not 23rd anymore. On October 23rd, the killer had spent the whole day going after Takuru, Miyashiro, and his friend, which meant the target had to be one of them. Shinjo. Oh, sorry, continue. Shinjo put the shit back on the body again and made an okay. We don't have an ID on the victim, but I think it's safe to assume that it's the owner of this room. Riko Haida, right? That's right. He flipped through his notebook and relaxed to Shinjo what he had learned from the condo's manager. Okay, Sipion, thank you udah mampir. 18 years old, single, live alone. Supposedly, she worked for a tech support company out of a temp agency. But when I tried to call the agency, they didn't exist. Either they went out of business, or it's a front company for a prostitution ring. We're looking into it now. So what makes you think she's the victim? Shinjo took out his own notebooks, started to copy down the things he thought were important. Well, for one thing, there's no sign of anyone but her coming to this room ever since she moved in. I'm sorry? Forensic tells me that all the fingerprints and footprints in the room probably belong to her, and there's no sign that anyone wiped them away. Of course, there are some other fingerprints, but they are all old. They probably belong to the former occupants or a maintenance worker. Thank you, the mampire. forensic thinks they can be ruled
ま
out.
た玄関の靴跡も
The only shoe
会社のもの
marks
しか見
at
当
the
たりません
entrance belong to her too.
うん
遺体発見時
When we found the
玄関には
body,
2つの鍵
both
の他に
doors
内側
were
から
locked
チェーン
from
ロッ
the
クがかかって
inside
いました
and the window were locked
窓
too,
もしっかり
which
施錠さ
meant
れてい
it
たの
has to be
で
her.
本人に間違い
Shinjo
ないこ
felt a
と
little like he was going to faint.
じゃあ
So,
犯人はどう
how
やって
did the
ここに
killer
入って
get in here and do
犯
this?
行に及んだんだ
It will take some serious equipment to roast a whole person. You couldn't get that in here without leaving any traces. The younger detective must have been thinking the same thing.
これで
If
普
she
通の死に
died,
方をしてて
if,
くれ
if
れ
she
ば
had died in a
自殺
normal
ってこ
way,
とで
you could
新
just
庄さ
write
んの
it
手をお借り
off
する
as
こ
a
ともなか
suicide
ったん
without
ですけど
having to bother you, but
死に方に普通もなんも
there
ない
is
だ
no
ろ
normal way to die.
すいません
I'm sorry, sir.
1階のエントランスに
There's a
防犯カメ
security
ラがあった
camera
よ
on the first floor, right?
ええ
Yes.
部下が
One
管理
of my
人室で録画
men
のチェックを始めていますが
is looking
今
at
の
the
ところは
footage in
何
the
も
manager's room right now, but hasn't found anything yet.
そうか
I see. Shinjo looked at the victim and then at the forensic people. They're frowning as they told.
あの様子だと
From the
死亡時
lookout
刻の
of
推
it,
定もまだ
we
無
won't
理
be
そうだ
able to
な
determine the time of death.
はい
Correct.
解剖に
Now,
回して
without
み
an
ないと
autopsy,
なんとも
if the
火
smoke
災報
alarm
知器が
went
作動
off,
していれば
we will
すぐ
have
に分か
known
った
right
でしょう
away.
が
But the two of them look up at the useless devices on the ceiling.
壊されていたって
They're broken, I'm
Hi.
told. Correct.
誰に
Who broke them? No. If
室内に
hers
は
are
彼女の
the
指紋し
only
かないんだ
fingerprints in
な
here, then it has to be her, right?
本
But
人
why will she do that here? Shinjo couldn't make any sense of it.
というか新庄さん
Anyway, Shinjo,
俺焼
I've
死の
never
現場っての
seen
は初めてな
someone
んです
burn
けど
to death.
こんな風に燃えるもんなんですか
But do they normally burn like this?
わからん
No idea.
こんなの俺だって初め
I've
てだ
never seen one either.
鑑識の連中がね全員首をひ
The
ねってるんで
forensic
す
people all say they can't figure it out.
ガソリンや灯油を使ったって
Even gasoline
こんな風にはならない
couldn't do this. And there was no smell of gasoline anyway. The only stench was of burning meat.
俺前にテレビで見たんですけど
I saw this
い
on
や
TV once,
やっぱ
but
いいです
no, never mind.
言えよ
Say it.
怒りません
You won't
か
get mad.
内容による
Depends on what you say.
世界の心霊現象スペシャルとかいう番組だったかな
It was a
そこで
special on
人体の
psychic
発火現象っての
phenomena
が
around the world. One section was on spontaneous human combustion.
やめろバカ
Stop it, fool. Shinjo poked the younger detective head lightly. The detective apologized, but Shinjo hadn't stopped him because it was too unbelievable to be true. He had stopped him for the opposite reason. He was probably right, which meant he didn't want rumor flying around, even inside the police department.
パイロキネシスと言ったな
Pyrokinesis, I think they called it. Miyo Kunosato, Hinai Arimura, and Takuro Miyashiro had all used the word repeatedly. It was the power to set things on fire with your mind, and they said the woman that was after Miyashiro and his friend, Senri Minamisawa, had it. Was this Riko Haida woman attacked by a pyrokinetic then? He came back to the same conclusion he had reached earlier, but then soon shook his head.
それでも説明でき
That
ない
doesn't explain it either. How? Would she get the rebar used to skewer the woman inside the room? And how? How will she get it skewered? Yes. Shinjo looked at the large window that dominated the room's east side. The curtain was open, and he could see the chaotic city of Shibuya outside. If the building was taller, the view would be impressive, but from this height, you could see the dirty backside of the surrounding condos and multi-purpose building. It was hard to call it a nice view. It probably made the rent a lot cheaper though, he thought to himself as he began to examine the glass window. If the killer had used some kind of power to get the rebar in from the building across the street, this window would have been shattered. But there wasn't a scratch on it.
こいつは
I don't
俺が
think
一人
I'm
で
going to
考え
get
ても
anywhere
どう
by
にもなら
myself
ない
here.
な
He hated to say it, but he needed a specialist like Mio Kunosato. So for now, he decided to focus on gathering
新
information.
庄さん
Shinjo?
Yeah.
What? A light tap on his back brought him back to reality.
防犯カメラをチェックしてた
I
部下か
got
ら連
word
絡です。
from the guy
ガイシャ
looking
の
at
顔
the
がはっきり
security
映ってる映像を
camera.
見つけました。
He found a clear shot of the victim's face.
そうか。
He did? Let's go. When he finally got out of the room, he felt like he could breathe again. Disrespectful to the dead or not, he took a deep breath when he got outside. He went down to the first floor and looked at the video on the monitor in the manager's room.
管理人の話だと
It says Riko Haida always hid her face from the camera.
撮られたくない理
Is
由
there
で
some
も
reason she didn't want to be videotaped?
渋谷地震の時に顔に火傷を負ったとかで人に見られるのを極端に嫌ってたらしいですね。
Her face got burned during Shibuya earthquake, he said, and she hated people seeing her.
ああ、それ
Oh,
で
so that's why.
ただこの時は
But this time,
一瞬ですが
he happened to
偶
get
然
a
映って
glimpse
しまっ
of
たよう
her.
です。
The timestamp on the screen indicated it was late at night on the 12th of October.
10月12日
October 12th isn't
そ
the...
れって確か
He remembered writing that day down, so he flipped open his notebook.
ああ、そうだ。
Alright, that's the first day Miyashiro and Arimura were attacked by Senri Minami-san.
先輩、はいだ
Here,
りこさん、来ま
here
し
is
た。
Riko Haida, sir. He quickly turned his eye back to the screen. In the video, the door to the entrance opened, and a woman came staggering inside. Perhaps her leg didn't work right, or maybe she was injured because he could tell he was dragging it. Her hair covered her face, making it impossible to read her expression.
おい、
Wait, is that? Yeah. Shinjo and the other detective gasped. Riko Haida was holding a long object in her hand, something like a staff, and using it to support herself. It looked exactly like the iron rebar that was currently skewering her body.
まさか
Wait, she was skewered on rebar that she brought in herself.
串刺しに
It was this recording, but Shinjo found himself holding his breath nervously, as if he was watching live footage. He walked right back the security camera. It seemed like she wanted to avoid showing her face, but she must have tripped on something when she was right under the camera because she staggered. When she did, her hair flew backward, and he could finally get a glimpse of her face. Shinjo's eyes went wide.
似てる
It looks just like her. All of her features matched the description. They were identical to the composite sketch based on a description by someone who had barely survived an attack by this woman.
そんな
No way.
こいつ
This is... The girl in the video was...
大丈夫よユイ
Don't worry, Yui.
安全になるまでずっと一緒にいてあげるから
I'll stay with you every minute until it's safe. Well, okay.
ほら
Come
元気
on.
出して
Cheer up, okay? Okay. Yui nodded. He was still pale. Not only had she gone through a lot last night, but she had just found out that she was a psychic. She wasn't looking good at all. I explained to her what I thought she needed to know, and then told her that no matter what, she must never be alone from now on. It was true, the return of the new generation. Madness had come to a temporary halt when Senri Minamisawa hadn't been able to kill anyone on the 23rd. But no matter what the rest of the world said, if it felt far too early to declare this whole thing's over.
でもね
You know,
こんな時にこんなことを言うのは変
maybe
か
I
もしれ
shouldn't
ない
say
けど
this, but I'm actually a
お姉ちゃん。
little excited.
ユイと一緒にお
It's
風呂に
been so
入った
long
り
since I've gotten to take
寝たり
bath
するの
with you or
久しぶり
sleep
なんだもの。
next to you.
ユイったらいつの
At
間に
some
か大人
point,
に
you
なっちゃっ
started
て
growing up and
す
acting
っかり
like Yuto's
ユウト
big
のお
sister
姉
all
ちゃん
the
になっちゃ
time,
ったでしょ
right?
たまには
Sometimes
私の
I just
妹に
want
戻
you
って
to be
甘
my
えてく
little
れてもいい
sister.
のになんて思ってたやだもう
Ah, jeez. Yui smiled just a little.
ユウトはどうするって
What about Yuto?
父さんの部屋にしばらく居候
He can stay in Dad's room for a while.
この部屋で一緒に寝ていいって言ったんだけどねなんか恥ずかしいみたい私は別に構わないの
He
に
could sleep with us in here, but I guess that's too embarrassing for him. I told him, I didn't mind, but
ユウはのの姉が初恋の人だから。あ、こ
you're
れ
his
内緒
first
ね。
love, Big
絶
Sis
対ね。
Nono? Oh, keep that a secret, okay? No matter what.
それは光栄だわ。
I'm honored.
ねえねえタクル。
Hey, Takuru,
頑張らないとユウトに
you
私を
hear
取られ
that?
ちゃうわよ。
You better try harder, or he will steal my heart away. Sometimes Kurusu will say things like that, just to enjoy my reaction. Lately, I had gotten a lot better at not reacting the way she wanted me to. I simply snored and she puffed up her cheeks and pouted.
で、ユイの能力
So
なんだ
about
け
your
ど、
power, you really
本
have
当
no
に
clue
自
what
覚
it
とか
is.
ないのか？
A small smile vanished from Yui's face.
そんなの急に言われても。
How
自分の身の回りで
does
特別なこ
anything
とが起こった
special
りとか
seem to happen around you?
特別
Special? Maybe with you? Like what?
ユウが嘘ついてもすぐにわかるとか。
Like I know when he's lying and
そ
stuff.
れは超能力じゃないわね。
It's not a psychic power. Every big sister can do that. I can always tell when Takuro's lying. For one thing,
だからそこで
don't
僕を
bring
引
me
き合
into
いに出
this.
すなよ。
This time, my don't react skill failed me. Kurosu chuckled and finally satisfied. Damn it. I felt annoyed for a moment, and then I realized that Kurosu was trying to send me a message.
なるべくユイを怖がらせないであげて。
Try not to scare you if you can, okay? That's what she seemed to be saying. Yeah, she was right. A normal girl, like Yui, will never be able to handle knowing there might be a serial killer after her. So Kurosu was deliberately pretending to be cheerful.
と、
I realized that my tone had probably been too harsh and relaxed it.
他にはないかな。どんなことでもいいんだけど。
Anything else? It doesn't matter what.
他に
Anything else? Yui looked down and thought for a minute.
そういえば
You know,
本当に時々だけどユウの声が聞こえる。
this doesn't happen often, but sometimes I feel like I can hear Yu's voice.
声
His voice.
例えばユウが忘れ物をして困ってたり、
Like when he
怪我を
forgot
して泣いて
something,
たり、
he's in trouble,
そういう良くない声
or
が
he
聞
got
こえてきて、
and he's crying. When bad things happen, I hear it like that.
それで
And then I'll
急いで
hurry
ユウ
to
の
Yu's
学校へ行
school,
くと
and it turned out
本当に怪
that
我を
he
して
really
たり
did
する
get hurt.
なるほど。
I see, maybe that's
それ
it.
かもしれない。
I wasn't a specialist, so I couldn't say for sure, but maybe you called it psychic sympathy between siblings. Kunosato might know more, but for whatever reason, she had it out for us. And there was no way I was telling her about Yui.
ユウトにはそういうことはないのかしら。
Does that ever happen to Yuto?
大丈夫。あいつに能力はな
He
い。
doesn't have any power. I already checked yesterday. I had shown him Yamazo's D-sword, and he hadn't shown any response at all.
なんだか私はユウの心配してるのに、ユウ
It
の方が
feels
そう
like
で
I'm
も
worried
な
about
いみ
you,
たいで。
but he's not
ちょ
worried
っと
about me.
尺だけど。
It kind of makes me mad.
でもいいよね。
But it's a good
ユウが
thing,
狙われるこ
right?
とはな
That
いんだも
means
んね。
he's safe, right?
あ
Yeah.
あいつはターゲットにされないはずだ
He。shouldn't be a target. When we heard that, she finally seemed to feel better. Kurusu softly put her hand on Yui's head and rubbed it.
本当にいい子ね、ユイは。
You really are a good girl, Yui.
や
Hey,
やだ、やめてよ。
stop that.
ダメです。
No. Kurusu grabbed Yui before she could escape and held her tight. It looked like she was about to kiss her at any second.
ユイ好きよ。
I like you. Yui, I love you.
ののねがなんか気持ち悪い。
Big sis Nona's
助けてたく
being kinda creepy. Help me, brother Takuru. I couldn't help but smile.
気が済むまでやらせてやれよ。
Let her do it until she tires herself out. Yui? No, save me. Just when I thought it was safe to leave you with Kurusu. Huh? The three of us froze at the sudden sound of a knock. No way, we're inside our house. The knock
家の
continued.
中だぞ。
Kurusu stood up and positioned herself between you and the door. I motioned for her to step back and put my hands on the doorknob. I remember the terror I had felt at Cafe Lex and Gulp. To be honest, I was afraid, terrified. but I was the only one who could protect them right now. Hello, kata Rimura. Huh? Suddenly, I heard an easygoing voice from the other side of the door. Miyashiro, can I come in? Or are you up to something naughty with Kurusu? What? Wait, it's you? Oh, hey there. Don't hey there. Don't hey there me. Don't knock like that. What? I have to knock. What if I walk in on you two in the middle of something? Kurusu and I are not going to be in the middle of anything. Anyway, what do you want? Oh, hi. I need to talk to you. Got a second? To me? Can you come to the dining room? Yeah, that's fine. Here we go too. Kurusu poked her face out from behind me and asked. Arimura stuck her hand out and shook them in, while looked to Mei like a deliberate overreaction. No, you two just keep on being lovey-dovey. I only need to talk to Miyashiro. Yeah? Arimura said her usual adios gracias to a confused Kurusu, then dragged me out of the room. What's going on? I don't know if it's something Kurusu should hear yet. Huh? Just come with me. I want to show you something. Oh, okay. I follow Arimura and as she hurried away from Kurusu's room. Oh, Taku, how is Yui looking? I think she's okay now. She's calmed down. She's calmed down. I see, good. Uki was in the kitchen washing dishes. She looked at us. She let out a small sigh of relief. Even if she hadn't seen her for a long time, Yui is still her friend, and she was still worried about her. Hina, want some tea? Uki made it. It's really good. No, I'm about to go home. Huh? I turned to look at Rimura in surprise. I thought she was staying here because there might be another attack like last night. Hina, you're leaving? Stay here some more. We've got no school tomorrow. No, I can't cause any more trouble for Miyashiro's father. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting to stay this long. So I'm out of clean underwear. You don't need to worry about that stuff. You're perfect. You think it's okay for me to show you use underwear or what? Are you demanding I show it to you? I may owe you for letting me stay the night, but I'm not going that far. Arimura pressed down on the hem of her skirt. Nobody demanding anything. That's not what I'm talking about. Then what are you talking about? That you're staying here until we're sure this was all over, right? It's safer that way. Oh, I see. Arimura scratched her cheek, and then she took on more serious look. Sorry, Uki, I'm sorry, but can you leave the room for a second? She spoke pointedly to Serika and Uki. The two of them exchanged glances for a moment, but Arimura wasn't allowing any room for discussion. They left the room. Wahaha. Kenapa bubuk? Once we were alone, Arimura sighed a little and took her phone out of her pocket. This is actually what I wanted to talk to you. Huh? I just got a message from Shinjo. He wants the two of us to confirm something for him right away. From Shinjo. He sent me something awful. The man has no tact. I just hate him. Arimura expanded the detached image and looked away from the phone, so she handed it to me. This is a copy of security camera with video, he says. You could see in the video the face of a woman I'll never forget. Senri Minamisawa. My reaction was the opposite of Arimura's. I couldn't tear my eyes away from it. You're sure that's her, right? Then you tell him. I don't want to talk to him anymore. Yeah, okay. Where was this? Harimura seemed annoyed.
その女のマンションとか
The
メールには
message
書いて
said
あ
it
りま
was
した
her
けど
condo or something.
マンションを見つ
They
けた
found her condo.
じゃあ
So was
南
she
沢さんには逮捕
arrested?
されたのか
I finally managed to tear myself away from the screen and look at Harimura. She sparkled a little.
ま、似たようなものです
More or less. It's okay
だ
for
か
me
ら
to go
私は
home
家
now.
に帰っても
Thanks for
平気
everything, Miyashiro.
ウキも立花あれも
Uki
も
and
う
Big
安心
Sis
していいみたいですよ
Tachibana that they don't have to worry now.
どういうことだ
What do you mean?
死にましたそ
Is
の
that?
女
That woman is that.
Huh?
Harimura spoke without any real emotion in her voice.
死んだ
Senri Minamisawa is that?
ええ
Yeah, you
クル
come
ス
up with
先
a
輩
good
にはう
way
まく伝えて
to
くだ
tell
さい
Kuroso. I'm terrible at that stuff.
それじゃそういうことで
Anyway,
あとはよろしくです
that's what's up. Thanks. She grabbed the phone from my hand and quickly deleted the photo. Then she bowed and left me alone in the dining room.
セリー、ウキ
Seri,
話終わったよ
Uki, I'm done
私帰る
talking.
から
I'm going
宮代
home.
先輩の相手してあ
So
げて
keep Miyashiro company
寂し
for a
がって
while.
るよ
He's lonely. I could hear her voice from the hallway. I could also hear Serika, Uki, Kurusu, and Yui all talking. They're probably all saying something like, "You're leaving at this hour?" But I didn't hear their conversation at all.
南沢千里が
Senri Minamisawa
死んだ
is dead. The serial killer who was after us was gone. October 27, 2015, Tuesday. 3 hari nih ya berarti ya? 3 hari dari tanggal yang Rico Haida's condo. 4 malah ya, kan 23rd ya kalau nggak salah. Rico Haida's condo was cut off from sunlight by the surrounding buildings, making the whole place feel somehow gloomy. Miyoko no Sato was standing there, her eyes as cold as ever. She had gone through all the wooden shelf and color boxes on the wall, read every last document and received insight, and found nothing. You are sure there's nothing in what the police took, right?
あ
Yeah, I look
あ
at
俺が
all
全
of
部
it,
チェッ
I'm
クしたん
sure.
だ間違いない
Several days had passed since the death of the woman they believed to be Senri Minamisawa. The body had long since been taken out for an autopsy. A few pieces of evidence, like the table the body had been focused on, had been taken by the police, but Shinjo said the clue she was looking for wasn't among them.
何も出てこない無駄足だったのか
There's nothing here. Am I wasting my time? She had spent 2 hours searching the room. Even she was starting to feel a little concerned, but she took her hat to drive the thought from her mind. Next, she pulled out the magazine and comics from the shelf and began to check if anything was hidden between the pages.
なあ
Hey,
なんだ
what? Shinjo was leaning up against the wall and watching her, a frown on his face.
この部屋は完全な
His
密
room
室
was
だった
completely locked. There's no
彼
sign
女
of
以外
anyone but
誰も
her
出入りした痕
and for
跡が
being
なく
here.
凶
And
器の
she
鉄球も
herself
彼
brought
女自
in the
身が
murder
持ち込んだ
weapon,
ものだ
that piece of rebar.
それがどうした
What of it?
彼女はどう
How
やっ
did she
て死ん
die?
だんだろうな
Regardless of
自
whether
殺
it
か他
was
殺かも含めて
murder or suicide.
私は探偵じゃない
I'm not a detective.
密室
Don't look at
犯
me
罪
to
の
solve
トリッ
your
クの知る
locked
か
room mysteries for you.
そういう話をしてるわけじゃない
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm asking you for your opinion on the death of a gigalomaniac. Shinjo sounded unhappy as he turned to look at the spot where the burned body had been found.
ギガロマニアックスは
Gigalomaniac
い
is
わゆる超
different
能力者と
than
は
what
違う
you will
他人と
typically
妄想を共有
imagine
することで
if you were
初
thinking
め
of
て
a
能力が
psychic.
発現す
Their
る
power can only be used when there's someone else for them to share their delusion with.
つまり
In other
ここ
words,
が誰の目
if
も届
this
かない
was a
閉
sealed
鎖空間
space
だったのなら
where no one's
Minami-sama
eyes could see,
ただ
no
の
matter
人間と
whose
同じだ
eyes they might be, Then Senri Minamisawa was just a normal human. She couldn't use her pyrokinesis.
だが
This place
ここは閉
wasn't
鎖空
sealed
間
at
とは
all.
違う
That window, for instance, if
例えば
someone was looking from over
窓の
there,
外から
it will
誰か
be
が覗
easy
いていれば
to share her
妄想
delusion.
の
いやそ
I
こま
thought
で
of
は
that
俺
too,
も
of
考えてさ
course.
なら
Then what's the
何を
problem?
悩むことがある
Nothing here either.
ここもダメか
Kunosato finished checking all the bookshelf and looked around the room, uncertain of what to do next. There wasn't a lot of furniture or appliances. The place was rather plain. The closet and desk were the first places she had checked, but she still hadn't found that she was looking for.
ここに住んでいたのが南沢千
If
里
Senri Minamisawa really did live here, I was sure I would find at least some hint of the comedy.
あるいは奴らのことだ
Or knowing them.
私より先に
Did they get
すでに
here
回収済みということか
before I did?
くそ大体事件の発生か
It's
ら
been
時間
too
が経ちすぎだ
many hours since the
直
murder.
後にここを調
If
べ
I
ら
had
れた
been able to look
連中
at
を出し抜けたかもし
this
れないのに
place first, if I had been able to look at this place first thing, I might have been able to find something first. She looked over her shoulder and glared at Shinjo. It took effort to stop herself from bitching him out.
上等だ
Fine, I'll find them
絶
anyway.
対に突き止めてやる
Kunosato decided to search the whole room once more. All the paperwork inside the messy desk used the name Riko Haida. It was nothing but receipt and utility bills. But there was no sign of a bill for a phone or internet service. She had neither, it seemed. There was no sign of her even having a landline phone.
確かに
That's right.
電話
There
が
isn't
ど
a
こにも
phone
ない
anywhere. She had looked around the room and found the phone jack, but it was covered in dust and showed no sign of ever having been used. The only other thing she found among the papers were receipts for food and drink for a convenience from a convenience store. Senri Minamisawa had never cooked. Convenience store food was all she ate.
これじゃあ食費
She
も
must
バ
have
カになら
spent
な
a
かっ
lot
た
of money on food, I bet. How had she paid for it all? The police were trying their hardest to find out, but there was no sign of a bank book or credit card in the room. And they didn't know anything about her bank account either.
金の出所は
The computer wasn't paying her. If I couldn't at least find her
せめ
bank
て口座
account,
番号だけでも
I
分
could
かれ
start
ば
trying to
す
trace
ぐ
it.
つかめるもの
南沢千里は
Senri Minamisawa
23
was seen by
日の深夜から
Miyashiro
24
and his
日の未明
friend
に
between
か
the
けて
night of the 23rd and the early morning of the 24th.
そして
And it was the night of the 24th that she was found dead, which means she died sometimes after her last sighting.
彼女が死んだのはその間とい
Kunosato
うこと
had
に
been
なる
so lost in thought that she hadn't even realized Shinjo was talking to her.
あ
Huh?
なんだ
What's that?
南沢千里が最後
saying
に目
that
撃されてから死体が発見され
There
るま
were
でに
20 hours between the last time
20時間ほどある
Senri
って話だよ。
Minamisawa was seen and when her body was found.
それだけあれば十分だろ
There's plenty of time.
ところが
But what
その
happened during
20
those
時間
20
の
hours
間
or
に何
not,
が起こったのか
even what Senri Minamisawa was
そもそも
doing during
南
that
沢千
time,
里が何
we
をし
have
ていた
no
の
clue.
か彼女は
She hadn't even
この
come back to her
マンションにすらも
condo.
何
What? Kunosato expression changed for the first time.
24日の防
He
犯カ
doesn't
メラ
show
に
up
映
on
っ
the
てないん
security
だ
camera
一度
on
も
the 24th, not once.
そんなバカな話が
That's
あるか
impossible.
じゃあどうやってここで死んだん
Then
だ
how did she wind up dead in this room?
だからこうして
That's the
ここ
question.
にくれ
映像をチェックしたや
The
つ
guy
の
who
見落と
checked
し
the
だろ
video must have missed it.
俺も確
I
認した
checked it
よ
myself. There was no
見落としはない
mistaking. Shinjo closed his eyes and rubbed them. He had caused himself a good bit of eye strain.
今映像を確認させてるが
Having someone else check the
どういう
video
こと
now,
かさっ
but I
ぱ
have
り
no
だ
idea what this means. Hmm.
わかった
Fine.
少し考えてみ
I'll
よ
think about it.
助かる
Thanks. He covered his face with his left hand
う
exhausted.
それも含めて
I'm going to look at this room a little more and see if I can't find the if I can't find that out too. Can you find out for me when Senri Minamisawa began using the alias Riko Haida? The committee might be involved in that too. Yeah, I'm on it. Oh, and where are the police going public with this? It hasn't been decided. There's some arguing going on about that. I think that if it made the news, we might learn more about Senator Minamisawa and how you feel, but don't be in such a hurry. No? What do you know about me? She glared at him with daggers in her eyes, but Shinjo shrugged and said nothing. Anyway, I'm off to go get a bite to eat. I'm not hungry. Go. Alright, I will. Shinjo left without trying to invite her a second time. But as he opened the door, he paused as if she had remembered something. You can look as much as you want, but the building's manager is suspicious of you. He's not convinced you're really with the police. If he calls the local cops, there will be trouble. So be careful. I'll keep that in mind, I guess. Your guess isn't good enough. I'm the one they'll be getting mad at. And then he laughed. But there was no humor in his voice. Kenapa kamu? Kenapa kamu, Hana Kazuki? It was after school in the club room, and the twilight streamed in through the open window. Kazuki was in the corner, playing SO2 and making weird noises. Her battle didn't seem to be going well, and she was making all these. What the I hope no one in the outside room get the wrong idea. Dilakban tuh mulutnya. Emang iya bubub. I heard a small knock on the door. Stare. Wait, it's you. Don't peek, just come inside. Is it okay? I'm not interrupting? Interrupting what? You can hear Hana all the way down the hall. He says she's busy, so don't talk to her now. Aku, wow. If they gave out certification for understanding Hana, you'll get one easily. I don't want one. He's saying, so what? You don't care about me at all? No, that's not. Stop talking about me behind my back. Wow, that's amazing. Terika smiled and clapped. For some reason, he was really happy. Where's Non today? Student council. She was out for a while, but she has a lot of work to do, she says. Kawahara came and said we couldn't have her today. Oh, so it's war. Okay, Taku. Let's go steal her back. Huh? No, that's fine. I didn't want any more trouble with the student council or Kawahara more specifically. You're back to the old loser, Taku. You were so cool for a while. Who? Huh? What are you talking about? Facing off with that scary psychic? Sneaking into hospital basement. You're really cool. When you were following the case, you know? What was I? Kurusu got super mad at me and told me not to go chasing after danger though. But now, that all seemed like the distant past, even though it hadn't been awake. The case is really over, right? The night, the 23rd, when there had been no murder, the rest of the world had started to declare that the return of the new generation madness was over. But I still hadn't believed it then. Hello fun, welcome to stream. I thought it wasn't over at all. But the next day, I had heard shocking news from Shinjo. Senri Minamisawa, the woman who had threatened us so much, was found burned to death in her condo. What? Senri was Yeah,
僕も有村
Harimura and I
確認した。
both saw the video. There's no doubt about it. I had spent a long time thinking that night. But in the end, I had no choice but to tell Kurusu about her death. When I told her, her eyes went wide, and then she looked down silently. Her long hair hid her face and I couldn't see her expression.
なんて
I
言
don't
って
know
いい
what
か
to say,
わからん
but
これで
now?
これで終わった
Now
のね
it's over, right?
もうタクルやユイを襲うような犯
The
人は
person who is after you and you is gone, right?
だと思うって。
That's what Shinjo thinks.
そう
I see.
よかった
Good. She raised her hat. Her eyes were a little wet, but she was slightly smiling. The police still hadn't made any announcement about the suspect in the killings being burned to death. Not only was Senri Minamisawa a minor, but she may have been driven to the crime by Chaos Child Syndrome, the form of PTSD experienced by a young survivor of the Shibuya earthquake. Shinjo had said it was an extremely delicate matter, and since the circumstances of her death were so strange, the forensic people were getting nowhere. There was an internal war over how the police should release the information. Also, I could be wrong about this, but it seemed to me that the fact that she was a human test subject at AH Tokyo General might have played a role too. If she became famous, the media and internet might start looking into her past, and they might find out about the human experiment. It will make sense if someone who wanted to avoid that was putting pressure on the police.
おい
Oi,
Miyashiro?
Miyashiro.
え
Eh?
あ、悪い。
Oh, sorry. What's up?
あれどうするよ
What are we doing with that? Ito pointed to the map on the wall.
片付けるか
Should we
も
put
う
it
使わない
away?
かもしれないし
We might not need it anymore. I stood in front of it again. The map crammed with all information we had gathered so far. It all looked faded, like something had happened a long time ago. Hmm? Oh,
Oh,
right. I found two
so-
photographs on the map that I had completely forgotten about. 6 and 7 incident in the New Generation Madness, Yamihan, and D Key and Puzzle. And notes next to them read October 28th and November 4th.
今日って
Today's
28
28th,
日なんだよ
huh?
な。
そうだな
Yeah. Ito nodded. He seemed to know what I meant. Then I saw another note I had stuck up there in my own handwriting. It was one I had been thinking about ever since I was told about Senri Minamisawa's death. Serial killer, multiple people including pyrokinetic.
事件は終わったんだろうか。
Is it really over?
終わったって言ってるぜ
That's what
Minna.
everybody says. Hmm.
それにさ
And if there was
もし
another
他に
killer,
犯人がいるなら23日だって南沢
they
専
should
務に
have
代わ
done
って
something on
そいつが事件を起
23rd
こしたは
since
ずだろ
Senri Minamisawa didn't,
ああ、
right?
なるほど。
Yeah, I see.
けど実
But
際は
nothing
何も起こらなかった
Which means it's impossible, I think.
この可能性は消えたってことじゃないのかな
Ito took the note of the map.
もうやめよう
Let's
ぜ
just give it up. I think it's hard on the vice president.
うん
Yeah,
そうだね
she might be right. Right?
そっか。
I see. I remember Kurusu's sad eyes when I had told her about Senri Minamisawa's death.
わかった。
Alright,
こいつの役目はここで終わりにし
we
よう。
can be done with this then. I slowly removed the map,
けど
but
なんかい
now
き
the
なり
wall
壁がすっ
seems
きりしちゃったね
kinda plain, doesn't
ずっ
it?
とここにあったからな。
It has been here for so long, yeah.
ま
Right,
た何
let's
か
find
事件
some
を
other
探
case,
そうよ
Taku.
タク
Something that will astonize
Minna.
everybody. Yeah, that's why we formed the newspaper club. Yeah. Serika smiled again, the same way she always did. And Ito finally started to grin, too. This time, let's pick something that won't get the vice president mad at us. I know, I've learned my lesson from this one. Even Kazuki turned away from her game and gave me an in agreement. Okay. RV kita ya. That night, I finally went back to the RV. You had finally calmed down and stopped being afraid at night. If that, Kurusu and Yuto were there, you would probably be fine. Her old friend Uki was there too. This place really does calm you down. I sat in the chair, boot up my PC for the first time in a long while. My inbox was overflowing with spam. It was strange. It always used to annoy me, but now it felt like proof that I have returned to my old life. Okay. Thanks, guys. Of course, I deleted them all immediately, but they didn't piss me off like they used to. Now then, come to think of it, I had forgotten because of everything that happened, but Ken had just told me the latest edition of Cool Cat Press that I hadn't touched it at all. I took it out from its hiding spot under my desk and started to flip through the pages, and it felt like forever since I had done that too. How much can you get away with in your first month with a girl? Friends kissing? Or is deep kissing okay? Hey One, what do you think? Whoa. I almost fell out of my chair. Sarika was standing behind me, looking over my shoulder. I think it doesn't really matter what month it is, you know? No. When did you get in here? Your door was unlocked. I had been so busy reading that I hadn't noticed Sarika. Don't just come on, knock at least. Oh? But I don't think you will like it if I knock. Huh? I thought it might scare you. She was right. If I heard knocking now, it might be bad for my heart. It might look like an air hat. But the nice thing about Sarika was that you could always count on her to remember things like that. Listen, okay? I know I've said this before, but this book is something Ken forces me to buy. I'm not buying it because I want to. Just remember that. I put my Cool Cat Press back under the desk in a very cool manner. Okay, I got it. I won't tell none, okay? Wait, that's not what I just said. So what about you, Taku? What? How much can you get away with when it comes to kissing? I don't know. I've never kissed a girl. Sarika suddenly pursed her lips unhappily. Taku, you forgot? Forgot about what? You had it with me. First kiss. What? I literally leap out of my chair. I kissed Sarika. When? Where? How? Why? According to Kenji Minamikata's column in Cool Cat Press, her girl's first kiss was more important to her than losing her virginity. That's what a guy who didn't remember his first kiss was a terrible man, he had said. Crap. I was sweating, unable to remember a thing, but Sarika just laughed. Well, I forgive you. It was when we were in preschool. Wait, it was a long time ago. Don't scare me like that. Anyway, kiss in preschool didn't count, probably. But when I told her so, she looked upset again. Anyway, what are you doing here? I thought you went home. But so I came to see you. Huh? You know, we've been together all the time lately, right? I didn't like it when a scary woman was after us. But we all worked together and overcame it, you know?
こういうこと言うと
If no one
のん
heard
ちゃん
me
に
say
怒ら
this,
れると思うから
he would
内緒
get
だ
mad.
けど私
So
結
keep
構
it a
ド
secret.
キドキしたよ
But I was pretty excited.
そっか。
I see.
タクはどうだった
What about you?
僕か。
Me? I don't know. I'm not
僕は
sure.
ふーん
Hmm? She suddenly leaned over, right on top of me, and reached a hand towards my computer. The sensation on my back was soft and warm. I didn't know how to react whenever she did sometimes like this.
おい、重いからどけって。
You're heavy. Get off.
重くないよ
I'm not
失礼だ
heavy.
な君は
You're so rude. Her white fingers gripped the mouse, and she started to move it around.
部室でも言ったけど私
I
ま
know
た新しい
I
事件
said
を探
this
したい
in
な
the clubroom, but I want a new case
こ
to
れなん
research.
かどう
Oh, what about this? Serika opened a site for Explorer of abandoned building, a popular genre. Most of the articles were about people going into abandoned village, factories, and mines. Bankrupt, empty amusement park, and department store were also popular. They will write essay and upload the photos. Some sites would also write about bloody urban legend involving the abandoned building or upload photographs with ghosts in them.
こういうの
stuffs-
やり尽くされてるしな。
As
あと背景の侵入って非合法だから。
stuff's all been
学校の部
done.
活でやるのは無理だ
Also, going into abandoned building is illegal. I don't think we could do it as a school club.
つま
Ah,
ん
that
の
sucks. Serika moved away from me and then lay down on the RV's bed. Then she yawned loudly.
ほら、そこで寝るなよ。
Don't sleep there.
うーん
I turned around, but her eyelids were already closed.
早っ。
That was fast. I quickly stood up and shook her shoulder.
おい、
Hey, if you're
眠いな
sleepy,
ら帰
then
って。
go home and sleep. I'm staying over tonight, so it's fine.
何言ってんだ。
What are you talking
僕
about?
の寝る
Where
場
am
所
I
はなくな
supposed to
る。
sleep?
大
It's
丈夫
okay, I'm tiny, so we can sleep
そ
together.
んなわけいくか。
And not. Just as I grabbed her by the arm, tried to lift her up.
あ、
Hmm? My phone started to vibrate in my backpack. It kept going, so it probably wasn't an email or a text, but a phone call. I had no choice but to leave Serika on the bed while I went to answer.
Mm.
I looked at the screen and saw the calls were from Ito.
今頃なんだろう。
Now what? Did he find some new cases for us? I answered the phone.
もしもし。
Here, what's up, Ito? Did you see Achan? His voice was tense and anxious.
アットチャンネル
A channel? Just look at it. Any of the new generation thread is fine.
なんだよ一体。
What's going on? I walked over to my PC, confused and opened a channel. I decided to start by opening the news board. There were quite a few threads about the original and current new generation menace incident. Huh? I couldn't believe my eyes. The pages was filled with the names Senri Minamisawa and Riko Haida. I could see the word burned to death here and there too.
警察が犯人を公表したのか。
Did the police go public with her name? No, you can tell if you read it, but the information seemed to leak from somewhere.
情報が
It leaked.
触れた。
Okay, I opened up the thread and saw that yes, the police were still remaining silent. But there was the picture Arimura and I had seen of her on the security camera and a photo of her when she was a student. There was a ton of weird information on Senri Minamisawa with no source even given. Some of it said,
おい、
"What the hell
なんだよ
is
これ。
this?
見つけたか
Did you find it?
超
Goddamn
めちゃくちゃだ
wrong
な
They're just
確か
posting
めも
a
しないで何
posting
適当な
crap
こと書き
without
込んで
even
んだ。
bothering to see if it's right. I was angry because I saw Kurusu and Kahara's name mixed in the information on Senator Minamisawa. Toriko Haida's a fake name. We are sure it's scared. Okay. The guys on Crazy Girl are starting to track her down. Okay. The first idiot who had posted was probably an old classmate of theirs. The three of them were friends and always together. That information had nothing to do with the case. What were they thinking? And the irresponsible comment that came after were even worse. Another threat said the Minamisawa had once lived in Aoba dorm and that Kurusu visited her every day in her condo. This was crazy. There were even a few morons saying that Kurusu was an accomplice to the murder because she had helped Senri Minamisawa stay hidden and that the police were coming to arrest her. That's probably why her phone number had shown up on an interview site. God damn it, when I saw that Kurusu's graduation photo was uploaded along with Senri's, I slammed my fist down onto the desk. The case is finally over, so why is this happening? What's going on, Taku? Serika jumped when she heard me yell. I'm hanging up, Ito. I'll call Kurusu. No, I tried, but it didn't work. She turned off her phone. I hit my computer's power button and quickly headed for the door. Fine, I'll go to Aoba dorm myself. Yeah, I'll go too. See you there. Ito hung up as well. Oh no, sorry, but I need you to stay here. Oh no, something happened with Non, right? Take me too. Serika followed after me as I ran out the door. I didn't have a choice, so the two of us ran toward the Aoba dorm. There were already several strange fans parked outside the dorm when we got there. Some people were already wandering around outside with video's camera. It's the mainstream media. They're here already. Screw them. As I get close to Aoba dorm, I could feel several sets of eyes upon me. Hey, can I talk to you? Do you two live here? Several men who appear to be reporters started to surround us. I'm sorry. What? Do you live here? I said. Please. Let me through. Then are you a friend? Do you know a girl named Nono Kurusu? No, I decided to lie. If I told them I knew Kurusu, I figured I wouldn't be able to take another step. Then does the name Senri Minamisawa mean anything to you? Did you see it on the internet? She's supposedly a serial killer. I really didn't know. We just came to Aoba Clinic to get some medicine. Then I grabbed Sarika's hand and started to run. I shook off the hand that tried to grab at me and rang in the bell for Aoba Clinic, not Aoba dorm. I could hear several frustrated noises behind me. Maybe it was just because the police hadn't made their announcement yet, but even the media didn't seem to want to step on the clinic property. It would probably be considering trespassing. Soon I heard someone on the other side of the door. It's me. Ono is here too. I whispered the door and the door opened. I slipped inside and the door was quickly closed again. Hey, welcome back. They was standing in the front lobby, chuckling. Good evening, Dr. Sakuma. It seems like things are getting really rough. Yeah. This has never happened before, so I'm not sure what to do. Dad scratched the back of his head. What is Kurusu doing? It will be kind of mean to say I find this surprising, but she's pretty desperate. It's rare for her. I figured that Kurusu was like any other girl. She was either scared or depressed after what happened, but it hurt to hear that a strong-willed girl like her was down. Go see her. It'll probably cheer her up a bit. Yeah. Okay. Serika and I ran up the stairs to the dorm. Yalah. Kita bakal save sampai sini aja. Kita bakal sebut nama. Ada Fan, ada Ken Papi, ada Lord, ada Sipions, ada Bagis, ada Nepu, ada Abang Telur, ada Ina, ada Anyap Lopudi, ada Faun, dan juga ada Ahmad Raffi ya. So ya, Thank you buat yang udah mampir. Oh ya, terus saya juga ada cameo. Thank you buat yang udah mampir dan juga menemani live stream kali ini. Kita save lagi. So ya, thank you banget yang udah mampir dan juga menemani live stream kali ini. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye.